In a 5-year period, 122 workers died, Thai workers, in the Israeli agricultural sector. I was at a moshav the day after a worker died in his sleep. He'd been working 17 hours a day, 7 days a week, and he'd been given 4 days off per year. When we visit these workers, you keep finding the same problems. The workers living in really squalid accommodation.
Okay, สวัสดีค่ะน้องมีเรื่องจะร้องเรียนอะไรหรือเปล่าจ๊ะ
We conducted a survey among 500 workers. No one was getting minimum wage.
บอกแต่ว่าเงินเดือนหนึ่งประมาณ 4,300 เขาว่า
ใช่
4,000 เช็คแต่ประมาณแล้วก็ไม่ถึง
Workers have to spray pesticides. Many of the workers we spoke to were clearly not given adequate protection when they did that.
มาปีหนึ่งแล้วไม่ได้ให้สักครั้งเลยตรงมือต้องซื้อตลอด
They come here for 5 years, they leave their families, they leave their kids, and they deserve to be treated properly, to be treated according to the law, and they deserve not to be subjected to living in working conditions that place their lives at risk.
This month, there is great concern now with the plight of Thai workers in Israel, as we've seen there from a report from the Human Rights Watch group, where they are saying that there needs to be more to be done to provide more than the standards that are being given to the Thai workers in Israel. Today, we have the Deputy Director of the Asia Divisions of Human Rights Watch here, Phil Robertson, with me in the studio. Sawadee-ka.
Sawadee-ka.
Phil, tell us about the situation for Thai workers in Israel right now.
Well, the situation is that you have 25,000 Thai workers there. They are the backbone of Israel agriculture now. Without them, the agricultural sector is not going to survive. And they're being treated very poorly. The laws and regulations in Israel are quite good, but they're just not being implemented. So as you saw, we've seen 122 Thai workers die over the last 5 years. Those deaths have not been investigated. No one's making the minimum wage. No one is getting basic protection equipment for dealing with pesticides. And all of them are working way in excess of what the law allows in terms of long hours, backbreaking labor under very hot conditions.
But you know, in your survey that was made, you said around 173 out of the 25,000 Thai nationals were interviewed about this. Is there a question as to, is this a little bit too little of a group that you're talking to?
It's a good question. This was 15 different groups. So what we were doing is we were conducting group interviews and then conducting special one-on-one interviews with individuals going more deeply into this. We also spoke to the Israeli Farm Federation. We spoke to the people from the parliament in Israel. We spoke to the NGOs who are working with them. It is widespread that we're seeing non-compliance with Israel's labor law in this sector. And, you know, it's discriminatory. Israelis get protection under the law. Why don't the Thais?
What about this mysterious nocturnal death syndrome that you're talking about? Because an estimated 122 Thai migrant workers have died in the country since 2008. And there is suspicion that this could be due to the long work hours, the environment that they're in. What have you so much in terms of evidence on this case?
Well, we have the 122 that have died over the past 5 years. 43 were listed as dying of this sudden nocturnal death syndrome. The problem is these cases are not being investigated. There's not autopsies being done. Out of the 122, for sure we know that 5 were suicides, but the rest are either labeled in a paper exercise as this sudden death syndrome or not investigated at all. There's no reason given. So, I mean, I would ask, you know, if 122 Israelis died over 5 years in Thailand, wouldn't Thailand be under pressure from Israel to explain what was happening? Why then is the Department of Employment or the other parts of the Thai government not pressing harder to demand answers from Israel about the treatment of these Thais?
What has the response been from the Thai government on this?
Well, it's not been terribly helpful, unfortunately. We just saw the other day that the Director General of the Department of Employment said, oh, it's not a big deal, only about 1% of the people are affected. But the newsflash for the Director General is, in fact, that we're finding non-compliance with wages and hours of work and basic safety and health issues across the board. Amongst all the Thai workers. So, I mean, the Department of Employment has to do a whole lot better to protect Thai workers overseas.
But there has been developments over the years from the officials saying that there has been the Thailand-Israel cooperation on the placement of workers. There were protests from groups of Thai workers that eventually got fired from their jobs. There was some progress on that. That wasn't enough?
Well, I think actually this Thai-Israel cooperation agreement actually is the one very bright spot in this whole story, where the Thai government, working with the Israeli government and with the International Organization for Migration, reached an agreement that have significantly lowered the recruitment fees. Previously, Thais were paying as much as 400,000 baht to be able to go to Israel to work in one of these jobs for 5 years. Now that cost has dropped to $850 because of this agreement. And, you know, this is something that should be replicated in other parts of the world. I mean, it's a really important agreement, and Thailand deserves credit for doing that. Now, we've got to follow up and figure out how to ensure that Israel enforces its labor laws in the agricultural sector, and that Thais get the money that they deserve, that they are entitled to under law.
Well, with that, we're going to have to end it here, but I want to ask you to ask a question to the Israeli ambassador, because tomorrow I will be interviewing the Israeli ambassador in the studio about this. Just look at the camera there, or look at this camera.
There we go.
Just ask the question that you want to ask to the Israeli ambassador.
What I would say, Mr. Ambassador, Israel is a developed country. It is a country that is proud of its laws and its regulations. Why is Israel not systematically enforcing laws for Thai migrant workers working in the agricultural sector? How can we explain this complete failure of labor law implementation? You know, this is something that really needs answers, not only for the world community, but also for the Thai people who are thinking about going to Israel to work in your farms and fields.
Okay, and we'll see how that goes tomorrow. You can stay tuned for that on Now at Noon. Anyways, thank you so much, Phil, for being with us.
Thank you. And
we'll see you, as always, here at 12:30. สวัสดีค่ะ